beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing my Year of Happy review for the month of November, and the theme for the month of November, if you don't remember from like the first video for the series, is spirituality. And it's something that's been a long time coming, but I'm glad I saved it for almost last, because there was a lot of heavy material that I would not have been able to go through if I hadn't gone through like the surface stuff before. So yeah, so this month was very transformative and very interesting, very informative, and full of discoveries, and very deep into like personal growth and stuff, much more than any other month before. And like I said, I'm glad that I did save it for later during the year, because I don't think I would have learned so much or been able to absorb and understand as much of the knowledge that I've accumulated this month without learning more of the basics first and kind of discovering myself and bettering myself in different ways first. Also, I'll try to make this quick because I just made this homemade fries poutine, and it smells delicious and I'm hungry. But it's too hot, so I have to let it cool down. So let's just get through this video. Sorry for the very long introduction. So I only read 2 books this month, so I'll talk about those first, and then I'll go into audiobooks, and I listened to quite a bit of audiobooks. So yeah. So the first book that I read this month was The Essence of Tao by Pamela, and it's basically, I'd say it's almost like a very small textbook of Tao, or Tao, which is like a very interesting concept of like basically what the yin and yang comes from, and being all like almost like a law present in everything, and being everything and nothing at once. It's very deep, and it's kind of a philosophy Tim really sees life by, so I was really interested in learning more about it. This also goes into like the religious, Taoist religious practice and beliefs, which is a little bit different and stuff, but yeah, it's very detailed, very in-depth, for like it really feels like an introductory course basically. So tons of information and a lot of translation of the Tao Te Ching by the Lao Tzu and Chuang Tzu and things like that. Probably mispronounced all of that, but yeah, very interesting stuff, very in-depth, very dense material. And then I read The Power of Now, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment by Eckhart Tolle. I think that's how you say his name. Once again, really bad with names. And I started this book back in June, I believe, when I was doing Attitude. Or maybe it was when I did personal growth, but I started it and I honestly like didn't even read an entire chapter, and I was like, no, I don't think I'm ready for this. And I'm pretty sure I was right. And I ended up reading it this month, and I could really absorb the information better. I was more open to the material that was in it, and I am really excited to use the teachings of this book in my daily life. It's really full of wisdom. Like every single sentence is full of wisdom. It's kind of insane. So those were the 2 books that I read this month, and honestly The Power of Now has to be like one of my favorite books ever now. Now let's move on to the audiobooks. Once again, I did listen to a lot of audiobooks, and I actually have a video planned for during Vlogmas where I will be talking to you all about how I can listen to as many books as I do, and like a bunch of audiobooks hacks type of thing. Breathe. I'm speaking very fast because I'm really hungry. I'm sorry. Alright, so the first audiobook that I listened to this month was The Universe Has Your Back, Transform Fear to Faith by Gabrielle Bernstein. And it was the first book I read of her, and it was really good, and I will reread it again, and I want a hard copy, and it's just an amazing book. It was full of wisdom. This entire month was full of wisdom. It was kind of insane. And it's all about trusting the universe and manifesting and the law of attraction, that kind of stuff. Then I listened to The Book of Joy, Lasting Happiness in a Changing World by His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu. And that was an incredible book. Having those 2 very wise men kind of just talk about all kinds of life things is just very interesting to see their perspective. And one of them is obviously a Christian and the other one is a Buddhist, but they can still be like almost best friends and really agree on so many different things. It's a really good book that I will reread for sure. Then I went back to Gabrielle Bernstein and I listened to Spirit Junkie, A Radical Road to Self-Love and Miracles, and that was basically it was kind of a mix between teaching and her journey through A Course in Miracles. So it was really interesting. And once again, it's like more about trusting the universe, manifestation, the law of attraction, that kind of stuff again. And actually, like a very funny story real quick about Spirit Junkie is that, so when I finished reading the Book of Joy, I was and I decided to read a second book by Gabrielle Bernstein. I was thinking again of like the universe has your back, and I texted one of my friends that's like really into the law of attraction and that kind of stuff, and like she's a very inspiring girl and very successful and stuff. So like I texted her, I was like, hey, I read this book called The Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein, and I think you would really like it. I don't know if you've read it before. And she says, no, but I think I just bought a book by her. And at that point I just started Spirit Junkie. I was like halfway through, and I'm like, oh, I'm actually like reading another book of hers, or like listening to another book of hers, Spirit Junkie. And she's like, oh my god, that's the one. And we were just like so like surprised by the universe, you know, like the universe just worked in mysterious ways, because like for her and me to like be reading the same book and actually end up kind of talking about it, like I really felt like I had to share this book with her because it was like really good. And then turned out we're reading the same book at the same time. That's just like insane. Anyways, just funny anecdote. After Spirit Junkie, I read I listened to The Tao of Pooh by Benjamin Hoff, and that was a very short book on kind of the parallels between Winnie the Pooh and the entire philosophy behind Tao. So that was really, really interesting. Then I started listening to the Untethered Soul, The Journey Beyond Yourself by Michael A. Singer. And I was listening to that at the same time as I was reading The Power of Now, and there was a lot of parallels. It's all about like the ego and like quieting the mind and being able to be fully present and being able to watch the ego act without having to be participating in that kind of stuff. I won't go into too much detail, but it was very interesting. That one is a little bit more personal growth than spiritual, I'd say, but it was very interesting, and it was kind of funny that I was listening and reading books that were basically on the same topic at the same time. And finally, then I finally listened to The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. I think that's how you say your name. And I mean, I've been kind of like pushing that book back. It's something that Alex, my friend, actually told me about like years ago when she first started her law of attraction journey, I guess. And back then, like I was not in a mental space where I could accept that I was in charge and that I had the power within me to like make things happen for myself and that kind of stuff. So back then I was like, that sounds interesting, glad it works for you, but I couldn't really imagine it for myself. And then like I guess like now I'm like a little bit more open and a little bit more receptive to that kind of ideas. So I decided to finally read the book, and I also watched a documentary. But I finally decided to read the book and give it a shot, and it was obviously very life transformative and like full of really interesting wisdom that I want to apply to my life. So I will be applying to my life. And finally, I listened to one last tiny little book before the end of the month, and it was The 7 Spiritual Law of Success, a practical guide to the fulfillment of your dreams by Deepak Chopra. And it's a very short book, and it was really, really good, jam-packed with absolute wisdom. And this month overall is just full of wisdom, and there's so much of it that's applicable to life, so I have a lot of work. But yeah. Now, before I let you guys go, nothing much happened during this month, just a lot of studying because exams are coming up in December. But I watched one movie that I should have watched a long time ago, The Matrix. Not really related to spirituality, but it was a really interesting, very enlightening, and like thought-provoking movie that I'm glad I did watch. And I watched a secret documentary, an Insay, which is the documentary on intuition that's on Netflix. So those were the main stuff I watched this month. And in interest, I kind of wanted to share because like like a couple months ago I kind of got into like zero waste and watched a bunch of people do zero waste on YouTube and that kind of stuff. Well, I fell into another category of YouTube videos that I've been like kind of binge watching left and right, and it's like very minimal lifestyle. So basically living in tiny homes, like tiny houses, or in vans or RV, converting buses and that kind of stuff. So I made a playlist that I will link down below with a bunch of videos on that, because like most of the stuff that I've been watching, because I feel like maybe some of you guys are interested in that. I don't know, but it's been like really interesting for me. I've been really excited. One of the people I watch the most is like a van life person. Her name is Hobo Ali, and I just really like her stuff, and I like a bunch of other people's stuff, so they're all in the playlist if you want to check it out and see what I've been watching lately. And I've also started meditating again with Headspace. I got a really good deal for like returning members and stuff, so I started doing Headspace again, and I've been going to yoga very consistently, which all helps with my mind and my spiritual practice and stuff. So yeah, so that's pretty much everything that I did this month. That's pretty much everything that I read this month and watched and all of that stuff. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're excited for Vlogmas. I decided to do it like last minute. So maybe you'll see a bunch of videos that you will find interesting, hopefully. And yeah, oh, last thing. I got a few shirts, vegan shirts, and this one says vegan for the voiceless. And it's just like really cute, and I don't know, I'm like really excited to wear like shirts like this. So I only have a few, but yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. I love you all very, very much, and I will see you all in another video very soon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being on this journey with me. One more month and we're done with this year of happy, and I'm like so excited to review it because I feel like so much stuff has happened. Anyways, thanks for watching. I love you all very, very much, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye.